Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning, and I'm up early. Isn't that awesome? Let's do a verse today. 1 Timothy 4, verse 7. But refuse profane and old wives' fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness. This is when Paul was sending a message to Timothy, telling him what to tell the churches, and what to preach to the churches, and what to teach to the churches in his absence. And one of the things was he was talking about what the Spirit was telling him was of what was to come, and one of those things was refusing profane and old wives' fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness. Wives' fables, wives' tales, superstition. God rest my grandfather's soul. I love that man, and he was a very dedicated man of God. He talked about God all the time to me when I was little, and I still remember it. I mean, he died when I was early 20s, but I remember how much he talked about God. And when he got sick, he got cancer. He had a vision. I'm gonna go ahead and share that vision with you. He had a vision, and this was shortly before he passed. His vision was he was sitting out on the back patio. I love their backyard. Brandy. Women. I'm just kidding. I love their back patio. And he looked up in the sky and he saw a chariot being pulled by white buffalo. And on that chariot was Jesus. And the chariot being pulled by white buffalo flew overhead and flew down and pulled right up next to him. And Jesus stood up and put his hand out for my grandfather to get up and climb into the chariot with him. And he got up, and just as he started climbing, he woke up. When I heard this vision, I was no longer sad or worried that when he was going to die. And when he did die, I was sad because I wasn't going to see him anymore. But it lifted my soul, lifted my spirit. The reason I'm telling you this, is because he was a very devoted man of God. Yet, he also was superstitious. Kind of a double negative. If he saw a black cat cross the road, he'd turn around and run the other way. If he gave you something, you had to give him a penny or something back. There was a lot of superstitions that he believed. Tons and tons and tons and tons. But he believed in God. So, the thing is, old wives' tales, superstitions, those aren't of God. Those are the devil. It's another thing that Satan throws at us to try to keep us from God. Now, my grandfather, it didn't keep him from God. He still believed very, very strongly in the power of Jesus. The superstitions, though, they did affect his life somewhat, but they did not affect his faith. So, for some, perhaps believing in old wives' tales or whatever won't affect your faith, but for many it will. There are many out there that take those superstitions and then they develop a whole world around it. Witches, for example. I've known a few witches in my life. They're very, very superstitious. They have taken that superstition and made it their own religion. So, wives' tales and superstitions are very dangerous. And that's why Paul was telling Timothy to tell the churches not to fall into this, because it can lead you astray. I for a long time kept up the superstitions just in remembrance of my grandfather, but now I've given up on all that. And even then, it was just a fun thing, something that I would remember him by. every once in a while, though, a black cat will cross the street, and I can't help. It'll just pop in my head for a minute, and I'll chuckle. It's been ingrained into all of us that these superstitions, even if you don't follow in on them, you still know about them. That's how powerful Satan is. He ingrains stuff into us. Even in our normal day-to-day lives, he ingrains stuff into us, hoping that it can just the tiniest little bit can turn us away from God. Because that's the ultimate goal. He wants to turn us away from God because his end is near. His end is coming. His end is on the rise. Now, could be another 1,000 years, who knows? But for a being believing themselves immortal, death, no matter how far off, is close. And Satan believes himself immortal. But he's not immortal. Because God is the infinite. And God has declared Satan will burn. So be careful when you're, partaking in these old wives' tales and these superstitions. Just be careful. Make sure that it's not anything more than something for you to chuckle about or have fun with. Or better yet, just remove them altogether if you don't need them. And you don't. We don't need anything or anyone but God. He is our everything, our only thing that we absolutely need. Especially far more than superstitions and wives' tales. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I have a busy day ahead of me. God bless you.